Okay, good morning. Welcome to an incredible first episode of this Move with Gratitude podcast with an amazing guest. We're here live, I suppose, at Ocado HQ in Trident House in Hatfield, Hertfordshire. And it's a great way to start the week, and it's a pleasure of ours to kick this off today with Stephen. Welcome, Stephen.
Hello, everyone.
Stephen joined Ocado Group, as we just shared, as Chief Financial Officer and Executive Director in March 2021. Prior to joining, Stephen was the CFO at Rolls-Royce Holdings. During his career, Stephen has worked across various sections, both in the UK and internationally, including senior roles at Daily Mail, General Trust, Dow Jones and News International. But we're here today fundamentally to talk about gratitude and movement, because that is what Run Grateful is ultimately all about. And with the point in time that we are in November, with it being Men's Mental Health Month, we felt it was a nice thing to do to introduce that into our conversation today and just kind of get a general feel about your experiences and opinions on certain things as well. So just a little bit of context around Run Grateful, because I know you wasn't here for the first challenge that we embarked on with the Ocado Group in February of this year, sorry. So we ran a certain amount, a few thousand grateful miles across the world, and the invitation for the Ocado Group employees was that they contributed these miles, whether it be 1, 10 or 50, however many it was, every mile counted. And then for them to focus on something or someone they were grateful for before they went out on that walk or that run. And attaching gratitude to movement is what Run Grateful is all about. If we're lucky enough to move in that way, we really encourage people to do so. So with that, let's kick the conversation off with running and gratitude and things of that nature. Is it something that you're familiar with? I hear you're a runner.
Yeah, I love running, and in fact, I've always run. Right early on, I remember my mum still tells me that when I was little, I basically ran everywhere, ran to school, ran back home from school, all that sort of stuff. So I've always been a runner through school level, probably less so at university because there's other distractions when you get to university. But I still run now. Yeah, running's always been, a very key part of my life, and I still do it today.
And talking about work, and you've mentioned off camera that you're a family man and you've got a son or sons or daughter. I don't know exactly how many kids you've
I've got 4 boys.
Oh wow, 4 boys.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so with that in mind, have you always found that running? We've spoken about that consistency of it, but with the family life and the work life, is it something that you've been really conscious of to kind of look after yourself, that you kind of continue with being active? Yeah,
definitely. I'm very conscious of that. I'm very, because I do think, it works well for me because, if you feel sort of fit and healthy, mentally you probably feel a bit, good about yourself as well. So do you know what I mean? It's sort of, I think it's pretty important to be conscious about it and know that, sort of think to yourself, hang on, I'm putting on a bit too much weight here, and I need to sort of be a bit, or I'm drinking too much. It's easy in the corporate world. It's very easy to get invited to a lot of business dinners, a lot of functions or Wednesday. But I am very conscious about it, about sort of weight, but also health. When you're fit and you're not, and all those sorts of things, and just sort of watch the food that you're eating. You don't need to go to any extremes, but just be sensible.
Yeah, self-awareness as well. Isn't it?
And that's where exercise, I think, works for me, a release from that sort of work pressure and challenge that's always with you.
Yeah. There's an opportunity there, and you've kind of alluded to it, where you can kind of be with yourself or be with others, whatever the scenario is, but you can really use that to focus on the good in your life, and kind of just to get away from like the stresses, and because life is stressful.
Also get outside into the countryside as well, in nature. That's all the research has shown that getting out into the outdoors and a bit of sort of the trees and all that sort of stuff is a really good thing to do. But this is where sort of mental health though is critical to ensure the delivery of those goals, and keeping an eye on it, and making sure that you've got an environment that allows people to express their feelings, and where they're feeling vulnerable. We all feel vulnerable now and again. Back in the 80s and 90s, mental health wasn't even a thing. It wasn't even talked about at all. And people that went off work, whatever the stress was like, crikey, well that's a bit odd. So it was kind of a taboo subject actually. It was almost something to be ashamed of. So we've evolved massively since then. And which is has to be a really healthy thing, and And I think it's just accepting now that we do have, you know, tensions and stresses and whatever, and people react in different ways, and that we just have to help everyone through their own situation.
Yeah.
The work-life balance thing is, in my view, has deteriorated significantly over the last 20, 30 years. And it's just changed. It really has, and it was never as extreme as it is today, in my view. There was much more time for the outside of work stuff because of that connectivity, and I think it's crept up on us, and it's something that's sort of, you know, very real, and we need to work to manage through and be disciplined about how we do it. Whether it be like, you know, you don't look at your emails over weekends or whatever works best for you. But be open, and then look after yourselves as well on the health side of things. Look after yourselves, get a bit of exercise, even if it's a walk, and just sort of, you know, I think that's an important, you know, part of the ingredients to give you that sort of, you know, resilience.
Absolutely.
And mental health. But, you know, mental health is every bit as important, if not more so, than physical health.
Well, listen, feeling supported and loved will never go out of fashion,
Yeah,
you know, and everyone needs somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I suppose that's one of the takeaways from this conversation, that wherever we are, wherever we're looking to go, you know, if we've got people by our side to uplift us and encourage us along the way and guide us, then, you know, we need to find them people, you know, and they are out there. So if you feel like you haven't, there are opportunities, you know, far and wide to go and identify these people, you know.
Right.
So,
yeah.
well, thanks so much for your time. I've really enjoyed our chat.
Yeah,
Great way
you.
to start
Yeah.
the week. So, look forward to doing a few grateful miles with you.
Brilliant.
And,
Look forward to it.
Yeah, tell your mates and let's get them miles done in January.
Definitely.
Great. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
Take care.
see ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Lovely.